Hi, hello, namaskar. This is Sarang, and welcome to One Story at a Time. On this very podcast, we have with us Mr. Riten Debnath, who is the founder of Fueler, a platform that lets you land 10x better opportunities through your proof of work. Hi, Riten. Welcome to this podcast.
Hey, hi Sarang. Thank you so much for the invite. So I'm really excited to be here and share our journey and whatever lesson I have learned. Right. So yeah.
Right, that's great. I'm sure you have a lot to share, so let's get right into it. So let's talk about your university because I saw on LinkedIn that you are from JIS University, which is one of the best universities in Kolkata. So tell us more about that and tell us where you are from and what kind of background you have come from.
All right. So it's a very interesting one because nobody really asks about your university. Yeah. So this is first time happening in a call. So I'm really happy.
Right.
So yeah. So I come from Agartala first of all. Okay. It's a small town in Northeast India. So like I'm based out of here. The whole thing, each and every operations of Fueler, we are doing it here from here remotely. So my team, each and everyone is working from their, specific places. So the full team is currently remote. Okay. So about my university, I did my computer science. So I'm a computer science engineer. It was great. My college life has been a great journey for me because that's when I actually learned about entrepreneurship. The exposure were pretty less, and obviously it's still the exposure here is very less, even in the schools and everything. But it was on my college, where I got to learn about entrepreneurship. It was through my college seniors. They told me about there is this club where you can join, you can learn about companies and stuff. They asked me this question. On the first day itself, it was kind of like a ragging. So they just called me up. Like they just told me, hey, do you know about entrepreneurship? Like what is it? Like I have no idea. After all the intro and everything, it was quite fun.
Right.
I was shit scared that day. So I was like, no, I didn't know. Okay, what is it? So they told me about they gave me some examples. They told me about Instagram, Facebook, and some other companies. I don't remember yet, but so they told me about that. So I was like, okay, this is interesting, right? So what exactly happens here? So they told me about the college, the club. They have ESL club. So they do different activities. They give you exposure to different communities where you get to talk with entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, and everything. So that's when everything started, and I learned about entrepreneurship very closely. That's when that's the day I went to my home and researched more about it. How
Right.
startups are and what startups are. Okay, and what is the current situation of startups in India. Okay, and globally. And I'm so happy and fortunate that I found UIC. Okay, so I used to learn from a lot of videos back in my college days from YC. Okay, so those have been really useful for me. And obviously the articles. So yeah, overall
Right.
the college journey has been really amazing. But some of the colleges that you come from tier 3, tier 2 cities of the country, so they you won't be finding a lot of people to communicate with.
Correct.
You will be missing that tribe. Okay, so that is something I guess a lot of people who are studying in such colleges, they face it, right? So what I believe
Correct.
is you have to build your own ecosystem around it. You have to build so you have to take your own efforts. Maybe so I used to invest in books. I used to
Right.
I used to write. Okay, I used to write articles and stuff. So that's that was my way of jumping into entrepreneurship and learning about startups.
Great, amazing. And I think you have to be very glad that you found such supportive seniors because it doesn't happen that way in other colleges because seniors are known only for ragging and not supporting.
Correct.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's really great. And tell us about the gigs you did in your college. Were you a part of this entrepreneurship club? And were
Right.
you coding? What were your projects? Tell us more about that.
Correct. So, as you mentioned about the senior thing, so I would like to mention, so it was again very short term, because see, colleges are full of, activities and distractions. Trust me, you have
Correct.
a lot of things on that table you have to take care of, right? So, I'm really glad that the first year was really nice. They told me about this entrepreneurship, ESL and everything, but eventually, it was shut down, like the college wasn't taking care of, ESL and everything, so yeah, I guess it was not a priority sort of thing, but, I kept learning and doing stuff, so, I remember, like thinking about money because I needed money. Okay. So, so to buy book mainly. Okay. So, I learned stock market, so, exactly. So that was in my college second year, I needed money. Okay. That was my only drive. And the money was for the books, because the books, they were really costly. One book used to cost you 800, 1000, and obviously those are the good books, right? So, that was my first motivation to make money, and it was through stock market. But I understood that it's not a like quick rich scheme thing, like you have to learn the fundamentals. Okay, then you have to learn the technicals. Technicals are, I guess, like not that hard to understand because once you understand the pattern, so now you can predict the future, or say like somewhere you can understand, okay, what is going to happen next through the charts, right? So again, it's a different topic. So like along with that, I thought I had to like diversify my income and everything. So like that's when I also jumped into freelancing. Okay, so my first gig I remember is it was a research based work. So it was a client from Canada. So like it was my first gig. So basically I joined a platform. It was Upwork. Okay, so that was my first first attempt to join a platform and obviously try to sell my skill. Okay, so I was quite new there. Okay, and I was bidding for a project I saw, and it was based on research project. Okay, and I don't know they simply gave it to me. I was like, hey, let's do it. Okay, and that was really nice, and then they liked my work and gave me bonus. In fact, so that was the first sort of happiness for me. Making my freelancing. Okay. And apart from that, I did design stuff, did development stuff. Development as mostly using low code tools. WordPress were quite popular back then, and it was quite easy to learn. Okay. Also, if you know some sort of builders and templates, it's quite easy to build a website.
Correct.
So yeah, I along with one of my friend, we used to do freelancing. We used to provide website services and everything to small companies. They required it, and I remember we along with one of my friends, we used to run a side project. Okay, it was it was an online portal where we used to put up all the study materials for a college student. Okay, so it was quite a hit. A lot of people got to know us from that. Also, we got a lot of freelance projects just because of that. Because that was our proof of work there.
Right. That was your proof of work. Great.
Because proof of work is everywhere. Trust me, each and
Correct.
everywhere. Even this video we are doing here, it's a form of proof of work, isn't it? So,
correct.
Yeah. So that side project, it was a website and it gave us a lot of projects. And it was quite good, that's when I worked with companies, brands, and yes, obviously at the same time focusing on academics and how colleges are. Yeah.
That's great because I think whenever students start side hustles or gigs, it always has to be web development because even I started with web development. A lot of people that I know also started with web development, web designing, and so on. But one thing that I really appreciate is that you went forward and applied for Upwork because what happens is a lot of people hold back from doing this.
Correct.
It's always that fear of failure. What if I don't deliver? What if I fail? So that one step itself is a great and a bold move. And since you mentioned freelancing, can you tell the viewers how you can improve yourself as a freelancer and how freelancing builds more opportunities for you as a professional and as a person?
Yeah. So the only hack here is to understand the company, okay, and the businesses, okay. So I believe everyone should have this founder mindset, okay. So founder mindset essentially means that you are aware of how things work, right? Works as starting from ideation to production to marketing, to sales to feedback, then again production, everything. So there is this cycle, So I figured this out very quickly because I was reading a lot of books. I have been a reader throughout my life,
Right.
It was in my college itself when I used to I made this habit, reading books every week, completing books, So that's when I got to learn more about startups. Okay, that's when I got to learn about businesses. Okay, and I think that was my factor learning more about freelancing. So when you're freelancing with a client, always try to think in this way. Okay, what this what the other person, what they need right now. Okay, can you help them in some way? Okay, not just what they're asking for. Also, can you bring insights from some other thing and tell them? It will eventually build your pitch. It will eventually make your pitch really strong. Also, when you're offering something, and you're telling them, hey, like I saw this on this side of this page, or maybe on the social media and everything, that's when they will say, okay, this person is somewhat proactive. This person has done his homework. So this sort of mindset only comes when you are so passionate about businesses, entrepreneurship, startups, and everything, right? So the only hack I would suggest, especially the college student, just go work with startup, find companies to work with. That's it. There are companies they don't hire, okay, but they're always open to work with new people. Only if you're credible enough. Only if you're someone who can be trusted. Okay, not just in the form of skills, also in the form of communication, right?
Correct.
When you do such thing, it increases your experiences. You experience a lot of things together at the same time, okay, and it will help you. It will help you in your freelancing career, because in your freelancing you are the person to take care of a lot of things. Like you are the one man army, I believe, and the only hack here, again, I would suggest, please go learn about business and startup. If you find that you want to work with, go find other companies in that same niches and what they're trying to do currently in the market on the internet. Okay, maybe if it's on the internet, check out their website, check out their social media, check out their Twitter page, Facebook page, LinkedIn page. Okay, and see if you can help them in some way. Okay, so again, here, building trust is very important, and trust comes only when you are able to tell them what they need. Okay, so
correct.
Something I would suggest.
So basically, research about what company you're applying for.
Correct.
Know what they really need and pitch yourself. Do your homework and connect with them on a personal level.
Yeah. So I used to tell this, even to our user at Fueler. So what we do is we tell them, if you're going for freelancing, okay, try to pitch in such a way that try to present yourself in such a way, obviously not bluffing the good one, the legit one, that the other person feels like if he's the owner, she's the owner, or you are the owner. Okay, so this is where your founder mindset comes in the picture.
Correct.
You have to you have to do the whole research and everything, and you have to be totally into the business. Okay, and that is one of the way you have to win. You can win pitches, because the kind of experience that you give with them, the same thing they will be finding it anywhere. So because they are hiring, clients are hiring, right? So they are looking at least 5 to 10 candidates, right? So your job is to make such an impression where they are not able to resist you, right?
Correct.
Also, making an offer really helps. Making some irresistible offers that the person can behind. So these things are very important. So when you're starting, experience, then over time you can improve.
Absolutely. I think one should know how to sell himself or herself, because presentation is what matters, and that can open doors to a lot of opportunities. Right. So coming back to your university, it is a non-IIT college, right? So as an entrepreneur, have you ever felt, or have you been discriminated for not being an IITian, or do you think that not being an IITian has closed doors for you somewhere, or you think IITians have a greater edge over non-IITians? What is your comment on this?
Okay, so is it on the real world or back in my college days?
It's about now. About now.
Yeah, of course. This is I don't know if people deny this, but this thing is really there. Okay, so your credibility really matters, and see, that's totally fine. Right, it's totally fine. Okay, and a lot of people discriminate this. They shouldn't be making they shouldn't be filtering out and everything. I believe that is totally fine. These people, they have worked really hard, studied really hard to get into IITs, right? So there should be this filtration, right? And I believe this is totally fine. And for me, yes, it really matters. See, for example, if you're doing a startup, okay, and if you have this batches. Batch as in in terms of, say, if you are from NIT, if you are you are from IIT, okay, if you are from this college, so the network really matters. I believe what really helps is your alumni network is super strong back in IITs. So I visited IIT once in my life. It was IIT KGP. Okay, so so I went there and it blew my mind. Okay, the kind of exposure they have, the kind of the minds, obviously, that is the opposite. But again, the kind of discussion that they have, it's really amazing. And description, I wouldn't say, but it really matters. It makes your journey easy. Okay.
True,
Say, for
true,
example,
true.
if I'm pitching to someone, okay, for
Mm.
example, I'm writing a cold DM to someone, cold email to someone, okay, about my startup, right? And if I'm mentioning, hey, I am from this batch, this is this batch, so they will definitely like look upon to this proposal. Also,
Correct.
if I'm trying to connect with other person from the same college or maybe other college, okay, but at least they will try to say, okay, this guy is also from IIT, let's see what they are doing. So obviously this thing is
Correct.
there, okay, and I don't know if people deny this, but this thing really matters, okay. Having this tag really helps you, okay, in a good way,
Correct.
okay.
Absolutely, because I can agree upon that IIT Kharagpur issue, because recently even I had visited IIT Kharagpur, because have you heard of this business model competition
Yeah.
called Empresario? Okay,
Correct.
great. So we were one of the finalists in Empresario. InnoVac was one of the finalists. So even there were about 6 to 10 people finalists, and we were one of them. And all other than us, majority of them were IITians. And sitting with them, and the level of discussions are next level, which we don't get in tier 2 and tier 3 cities.
Correct.
And exactly, and even the fun after you pitching in ideas and they giving you feedback, it's next level. So
Yeah.
just wanted to know your feedback on this non-IIT thing. But anyway, let's jump into your entrepreneurial journey. Right. So when did you start Fueler? Tell us more about Fueler, what it does, why you started, when you started, and so on.
Okay, so like Fueler, it was started in 2021, 15th May.
Mm.
Okay, so I would like to give you a behind story about Fueler
Okay.
because it will really help you, okay, to understand what exactly we have been through, then how we came into this idea. So as I told you about the proof of work thing, right? So eventually everyone asks you this, right? When you're into freelancing, this is a very important thing, right? They ask you for sample, they ask you for a portfolio and everything, right? So even if after my college days, I used to work with companies, I used to work with brands as a freelancer. Okay, so that was one of the way to support my startup, right? So Fueler, previously it was a different model. Okay, it was a different marketplace model that we were trying to do. Okay, then we understood that we were making mistake. Okay, that's why we pivoted the whole model into Fueler. Okay, so Fueler is a you can say it's the proof of work that you see today. Okay, it's totally based on our own personal experience. Okay, the experience here was I was working with multiple brands. So till now I have worked with more than 70 plus brands across the world. Okay, so like that's when I understood. Okay, a company or a small business, they have requirements. Okay, they have requirement for product design. They have requirement for development. Okay, they have requirement for marketing. Writing and everything, right? So like when I was working with them, I had to share different links from different platforms
Correct.
to them, right?
Correct.
So it was very hard to manage and stuff, right? So that's when we thought let's solve this. Why a person should have different different platform to put all their work, right? Why cannot I can put this on a single platform. Also, we saw that there is no single platform that is actually helping the generalists. Generalists are the people
Correct.
who are good at multiple skills. Who are able to bring value from multiple domains, right? So there was no dedicated platform for this. So that's when we thought let's build this platform where it will help people. Okay, and first of all, it helped us. That is the core motivation of
Exactly.
building Fueler, because we personally use Fueler even today. If I'm going on a call with someone, even if I'm putting all my work on an article, so we use Fueler. It makes our job so much easy. It saves us time. Also, the mental peace is very much because currently I don't have to think about my works are on Twitter DM, my works are on LinkedIn DM and WhatsApp DM. So currently it's there. It's just one link. I have to share it. I can share it anywhere I want. Okay, so. It was based on personal experience, So again, back in my freelancing days, I saw the value of proof of work. It is something that gives you a ultra edge, in your say a pitch, or say in your conversation. Say if you can directly show them, hey, I know what you're trying to say, and this is something I have done. Check it out. So that's when they will be much more convinced rather than you telling them the whole story and everything, right? So your work really speaks for you, okay, and that's when we thought let's prioritize the whole proof of work concept and take it forward, right? So that more number of people, take this seriously. Now let me come to the education part of it. So Fueler is currently at the intersection of education and the future of work. Okay, So
Right.
in between, say for example, if someone has learned something, we already assume that that person knows it, right? But that is not true. Okay, so that is in
Correct.
between. There is this layer. That is layer of validation. That is where
Correct.
work comes in the picture, right? So, so
Right.
currently, if you can just ask this person, hey, I know that you have done this, you have done this course, you have done this degree, but can you show me what you have done? So that is your proof of work, And that is where
Exactly.
Fuller comes in, where you can, you can be explorer, you can be anyone. Your work could be in different platform. Just dump it here, publish it here. You take the liberty of it and use it the way you want it, right? And
Super.
although like we saw a lot of people don't publish their work, it's on your Google Doc, it's on your Google Drive, it's on your again
GitHub.
GitHub. Like GitHub, again, it's on the internet. But say for example, the
Yeah.
writers,
Right.
writers, okay. So most of their works are in Google Doc, So I don't know if
Correct.
you ever thought of it, but like imagine they have done some sort of work and it's on their Google Drive. It's not publicly posted somewhere, So it's very private. So what happens is that they are not able to build they're not able to build an audience around that. Let me tell you.
Correct.
So once your works are not on the internet, okay, not published on the internet, So what happens is like nobody gets to see them, right? Unless you are sharing it with them. So the concept here is outbound versus inbound. Right. So your work could be on your Google Drive, maybe on Canva, maybe on Notion. But again, it's very private to you, right? Unless someone finds you, okay. Also, say if you don't have any strong personal brand, they won't be getting to see you, right? So it's again very outbound, right? So that is why Fuller helps you when you publish your work on the internet. So it does the whole SEO indexing thing for you. Okay. So a lot of people tell us, even before their website, they get Fuller. They get their Fuller page on the internet. So it's because of SEO. It's because of the indexing. It's because of the discovery. So gives you that discovery. A lot of people tell us, I have my Notion page, I have my website, but again, the problem is discovery. You can have a lot of things, but how people who can find you, right? So you have to build a distribution for yourself. So Fuller is actually helping individual in discovery. When you work on Fuller, it's there on the internet, right? And if anybody go there and search for it, they will eventually find your profile, they get into it, and based on that, they can connect with you. That is the beauty of the platform that we're trying to do.
Exactly. I mean, I was not aware of this SEO and indexing because that is really amazing. Probably that is one of your USPs, right? Other than just being a place where people can dump in all of their work, you're going the extra mile for your users. So that is really amazing, and I don't think a lot of other communities do this kind of indexing and SEO. So great job on that.
So yeah, that's something like we solve, right? Because why anyone should come here, right? So that is something to offer them, right? So it should help them get opportunity. See, we already tell people, right? If you have proof of work, you will get opportunity. Just like you have to build right proof of work so that people find you and they give you offer and everything, right?
Right.
Yeah, it really works. People, we get DMs. Okay, so I'll share maybe one or two DMs with you. Where people tell us, I was searching for my website on the internet, Fuller page was coming above my own website. So again, the reason is again the SEO. Your website might not have a lot of traffic, but Fuller has traffic. So when you put your work on Fuller, so it automatically indexes all your work, and not just this. Fuller is like your full stack work portfolio. Throughout your career, you could be into full-time job, you could be into internship, you could be into externship, you could be into freelancing. For all of this, you need proof of work. Works are at a single place now. It's totally on you. You can even make your work private on Fuller. Okay, so people don't know about this. So what really happens is, say for example, some of your works are based on NDA. You might have signed NDA and stuff, right? So Fuller allows you to make your work private, but there is this different angle to it. So for example, since you put a lot of work on Fuller, what happens is you can create customized profile on Fuller also. So let me tell you the example of it. You as a person, okay, now you are into web development, okay, you are into designing, you are into writing, okay. So now when you are pitching to client, okay, say for example that client is from EdTech and they are looking for someone who is a writer. Now you don't have to share the whole Fuller link with them, okay, because it has a lot of work, right? So what Fuller helps you with is Fuller helps you create a different landing page of your work. So it's Fuller helps you create customized profile of yourself again inside. So it's you can literally pick work that you want to display and you can share that link instead of your main public link. Okay, so that is one of the most loved feature on Fueler because it solves a pain, pain point of like sharing all my work with a client and the client never sees them, right? So you just instead of that, pick just 1 or 2 or 3 of your work and create a new landing page of it and then share it. And obviously it looks professional, okay? And this is something like has been loved by a lot of people and they like use this religiously. Yeah.
Actually, see, I think when people recruit, the entire system and process of recruitment is changing day by day.
Correct.
People are not recruiting based on certificates. People are recruiting based on what you've done.
Correct.
So I think Fueler can also replace this entire system of sending resumes.
Correct.
Just send the Fueler link. Recruiters know what all you've done, and if you suit,
Correct. So we wouldn't say like we're trying to replace the resume thing again because see, resume is like an equation to our society, So if you're trying to work with something in the market, you really need to understand, what exactly how the situation is currently. A lot of founders make this mistake, or the startup team make this mistake. They they have this term called Khali Pulao, right? So like we assume a lot of things in our mind. We are already like without even getting into the depth, we already assume that this is this, and this will work. But that is not true. So like this is why we tell everyone that we are not trying to replace resume here. Fueler is actually coming before resume. Fueler is helping you give discovery. So let me simplify this. So Fueler is like Tinder here. So what's like? Let me explain the full meaning here. So on Tinder, you build your impression through your looks, right? Through your interests, what you have done and everything, right? Then again, like your activity and stuff, right? But on Fueler, the impression is through your proof of work. So once the impression is done, now the next step is to connect with you, talk with you. If you're open for opportunity, if you're someone I like working with, I will love working with. So I'll ask you for maybe send your resume and everything. So that is again the later step, right? But initially, again, the discovery is very important, right? The impression is very important. So Fueler comes into that picture. So a lot, and obviously there are so many companies who doesn't look for resume right now, So even they do it's because of their documentation process, but currently they use Fueler for that. Brands directly ask for Fueler profile. That's it. That is the kind of thing we are trying. Yes, and this is actually true. Even we didn't believe it. The brands they sent us the screenshot. They told me, hey, like I opened a position and people were sending their Fueler profile. And I was like, wow, this is great. The kind of impact you guys are making it's huge. So because they're understanding the importance of proof of work and they're actually getting results out of it. That is the beauty of it. Right?
That's like a head-on validation for you.
I myself got a job from my Fueler profile. That was the ultra validation for me. It happened few days back itself. Someone DM'd me on WhatsApp. So she was asking me, hey, I saw your profile. It was really nice. So are you open for this position? So it was a senior position based in Bangalore. So I had to move Bangalore for that role, So yeah, so she asked me this, said, yeah, I'm interested. Tell me more. So that was I actually got to know, okay, this is a genuine lead that I got. It was whole organic, and that was like a validation for me. I even made a tweet on this. Crazy.
Yeah, I've been following you on Twitter and LinkedIn. You keep posting updates
Correct.
on Fueler. So can I say this? So Fueler can be used to filter out recruitment.
Correct.
Probably that might be the right statement for Fueler.
Correct.
Okay.
It helps you the right people, right people who has skin in the game. So I guess that would be a very important thing to mention because a lot of people just tell you like this is my resume, sir. If I'm interested for the role, but you have to go extra mile to prove them, right? Yeah, see, I'm actually interested for this role, and these are my proof of work. Please check it, right? So yeah, we're trying to help companies. In fact, so there is a proof of work angle we're trying to build for the companies as well. So it is going to be live very soon. So you as a company you can use Fueler to attract right talent for your company. Without being a job board because Fueler is not a hiring platform. I guess it's very clear by the look and everything. We are trying to be a platform where folks come up, show their work, create their profile, and use it as a tool. Then eventually we'll be becoming a platform. So that is the goal.
Great. I know that you have not raised funds.
Correct.
So tell us about how you are generating money. Are you bootstrapping or what are you guys doing?
So we are bootstrap currently, So so it's we are the whole team currently, we work with side projects and stuff, we take up gigs, I told you, right, we ourselves use Fueler profile, right? So that is where our Fueler bucket, Fueler link, everything comes in the picture. Also, the whole Fueler is our proof of work that we can do stuff, right? So so again, we're trying to slowly move into the full Fueler thing because the revenue is currently working. Companies and brands are hiring from Fueler. They are hiring freelancers from Fueler. So we have revenue ticking in currently. So it's a good signal for us. So we are trying to focus more on this so that we can increase the volume here. Okay. So again, we are fully bootstrap. And obviously journey has been super tough. I feel all the credits goes to the team, because the kind of support, the kind of trust they have, it's, I guess, I don't know, it's very invaluable for me, the kind of trust and conviction they have, because see, all of them are paying like opportunity cost, isn't it? Like building Fueler, working together as a team. Okay. If they happen to work with some other startup and company, they would have made a lot of money, but here they're sacrificing their whole career, right? So this is something I take a lot of it makes me humble at times, because these people, all the credit goes to them. Yeah, it's because of them.
Right. I mean, what would be a startup without a team, right?
Yes.
So, but although on the flip side, finding the right team is very difficult. So tell us how you found your team.
So it was again all based on proof of work, right? So like all these folks who have joined the journey, it was all based on work. I saw their work, what they were doing, they were building and stuff. So so I told them, hey, like this is a freelancing opportunity. So like, would you be interested to work? So that's when like they did the job, they made money out of it, so eventually they joined the journey. I told them, hey, we are doing this stuff, so like please join us, like work with us, so this is something you would be doing in the future. You will be part of the team, you'll be getting this stuff, right? So yes, see, this is a very, very hard for any startup, trust me. Even if you have money, you won't be finding the right team to work with. I guess this is something every startup founders, or say early stage startup team face this, finding the right team. So in our case, I don't know, I feel really lucky here. You should ask them, what they saw in Fueler, or maybe in
Right.
it's because so you have to take care of a lot of things. It's a lot of rejection. If you have ego, if you're someone, hey, like, no, I am the boss. You have to listen to me. I don't think this thing really works. You have to be the person who is a janitor. You have to take care of a lot of things, starting from their well-being. Like their mood, their inspiration, aspiration. A lot of other things. I feel this is again an exercise in itself. You have to know the person first, right? Their inline motivation, right? Why they are trying to do, and that's when you can actually help them and achieve their goal, right?
True.
So I guess communication plays a big role here. A lot of people think like an engineer, so don't be an engineer there, because not every thing can be won by thinking logically. You have to think from emotional point of view.
Emotional point of view.
Right.
True. Very true. Actually, I read this on a book called The Spiritual CEO. Have you read that book?
No, I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, because whatever you said has been written in that book.
Achha, okay.
Spiritual leadership is very important. Spiritual as in not religious.
Yeah.
You have to understand your employees. You have to know their passion, how you can help them grow as a person, as a professional. So so that was just a note.
No.
Well, you said, you were lucky to find the right founding team.
Correct.
But, that is what we at InnoVac are doing. So what we have done is we have built collaboration, very simple, structured and quicker. So with InnoVac Social, which is a competitive social networking application, only for students, entrepreneurs and mentors, you can find the right team and find the right mentor in just 2 steps.
Correct.
Again, that is based on proof of work. So you collaborate with people, you join teams based on projects and ideas, which is ultimately proof of work.
Correct.
So I guess proof of work is being used everywhere.
Yeah.
And
then like a lot of people take it very obviously, So like there is no standard protocol for it. Your proof of work could be on your Notion, Google Docs, you share a 10 different links, That is the actual problem here, So that is where we Fueler see it as a tool, right? So recently I got a call with Harish, right, the founder of Blue Learn, right? So like, we are actually collaborating with the whole proof of work, Fueler and Blueline thing, So on their app, so there is going to be a section where you can find proof of work of individual, right? So that is a big thing, right? So
That's great. Yeah.
So that is the same thing. Even I would suggest, right, the way you mentioned on your page, on your app, right? So you said about proof of work, right? So that is the thing, A lot of people take it for granted. They feel like, okay, share your work. So some share their Notion link, some share their Google Docs, some share their maybe Canva link. So there is no structure to it, right? So there, we're trying to solve this very small problem, but a very obvious one, right? Where, even though you take it for granted, but do it in a structured way, so that see, it's a very big thing, but a lot of people take it very lightly. They just share 10 different link for opportunities. That's the impressions are gone, right? So, yeah.
Correct. I mean, it's really amazing to see how just proof of work can impact so many lives, get you so many opportunities, and I really want to congratulate you on this, whatever you're doing.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I mean, I can the first thing I liked about Fueler is your UI and UX. It is so simple and it is, I mean, it's very colorful.
Right.
Sometimes I just want to stay in your page and see what other people are doing just because of your UI.
Thank you so much. So the psychology,
on that.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I guess the psychology here is the soft color, right? I tell you this, okay. Say you might see a lot of website, but it has very bold colors, right? Very strong and bold colors, right? But that is not on Fueler, right? So what we did here is now we see every person, they have this soft corner inside their heart or brain, I don't know. Okay, so so like everyone has that soft corner in themselves, right? So we just hit that with Fueler. If you see Fueler, we're trying to use the soft color, soft and cozy and comfortable color. So whenever you see it, you'll like it at least. You won't be hating it. So that has been our aim. Okay, and again, great execution. The credit goes to Abhishek. He's the whole the design like ninja here at Fueler, who takes care of all of this thing, and this is actually nothing. Okay, so we are again like coming up with a lot of other things which are going to be in the future, and again we are currently focused on retention and revenue stuff. So eventually when we build Fueler for the full time, focusing full time on this, trust me, we have a lot of other plans coming in. There are so many tools and resources we are building for our users, and for the community people. Now, I guess that is something we take a lot of passion in, and obviously we try to bring fun, like, so the F stands for fun on Fueler, right? So that is something like we always keep it so that people enjoy,
Super. So, I mean, all this is very glamorous. You've been achieving, you hit the 5,000 milestone, but still being a startup, I'm sure you would have faced a lot of ups and downs.
Yes.
So tell us about your downs and tell us how you faced it and how you overcame those downs.
So like, see, down, so there is this thing I believe, I don't remember most of the down times, so, but yeah, it's the same question, I was being asked on a spaces, recently on a Twitter spaces, I was okay. So like, so like they asked the same question, can you share some of the failure story of yourself? But, that time I didn't have anything to share, but, yes, a person will say that whole startup, it's based on whole failure and everything, most of the time it's about rejection, you write email to someone, you connect with someone, they support you, they show your support on the public, but when you connect them on private, it's different story again. I don't want to point any particular person here, but it's true again, people support you only when it's popular to support you. Okay. If you understand this thing now, so like I believe you will have a lesson on distribution. So that is when we understood, okay, this is something we have to grow. This is where we have to bring some numbers. That is when we can actually get eyeballs from people. So there are a lot of like failure stories. Like pivoting a lot. Pivoting our idea. Connecting with companies. Not being able to cater to them. They are not listening to us, or maybe they are not paying attention to us. Rejections and setbacks, and obviously like we never had any team issues and everything till date, because we tried our best to collaborate and cooperate with each other, even working remotely, because I tell them this a lot, please try to communicate a lot, because we are working remotely. It's very easy to assume, like if I cannot see you, maybe I can assume you are doing a lot of things. So I guess this trust and culture is something we have been building on Fuller, and I guess like this is working really well. People are working from multiple places.
That's great.
Even some of them are from Nigeria, right? So we have we have interns from Nigeria as well, right? So like even like we work remotely, and the trust there, we sit for one day for half an hour or one hour, we discuss and we do the stuff. That's it. That is the thing we have been doing.
Superb. So, I mean, in any startup, I guess communication is the key. You have to know what you are doing. You have to know what the other person is doing, how you can collaborate with them. I mean, all of those things have to be real time.
Correct.
So, communication is the
very
key.
important, ultra important, I guess. And being a communicator, if you have a lot of ego, I guess like you are losing there itself. I guess like please, I request this to a lot of people. If you're building a team, please keep your ego aside. Don't like just forget ego. Just think yourself like a shit. Okay, and yeah, you are nothing. Like even today, I say this, right. I'm nothing, right? We are nothing. So we have to just think that we are doing it from scratch, and that is where all the energy, passion comes in. Right? We are starting our journey from scratch. So I guess that is our underlying motivation.
Super. So, can you give our viewers a few tips to improve their proof of work?
So I would suggest please go check companies, okay, and check their job descriptions. Okay. So whenever they're hiring, they mention what exactly they are expecting from a person they are hiring. They're hiring, right? So that is when you will understand. Okay, these companies are looking for this. These companies are like working on this, right? So like I need to work something around this, right? Also we have a page on Fuller where all the ideas are mentioned, right? We have given out 500 ideas, proof of ideas, across marketing, design, development, copywriting, community management. A lot of people ask us, what will be the proof of work for a community manager? Like there is no way a community manager can have proof of work, but there are, if you want, I can share some of the profiles with you. They were really crazy. Whenever I go through those profiles, it definitely gives me an idea. Okay, this person is someone who is a community person, and these are the proof they have given, right? So yeah, every field has proof of work. Just you have to understand, like what the company needs, and based on that, you work on it and share with them. Instead of saying, I have scored this much, I have learned this, I have this certificates and everything. Yeah.
Correct. Right. Since you mentioned communities, ultimately Fuller is also a community. Correct?
We are community.
Okay. So tell us how people have to consume and contribute to a community, because there are a lot of people who just even you might have observed this in Fuller. They just sign up and they just leave their Fuller account.
Correct.
So they don't do anything. They just see 2 or 3 accounts and then they just log off. Right. So how should people interact and consume with these kind of communities?
So I guess I feel incentives plays a very big role here. So incentives doesn't have to be monetary one. It doesn't have to be something tangible, but it could be a lot of other things. It could be social status. It could be exposure. It could be gigs. A lot of other stuff. So I believe something that I learned very early in my career. It's incentive. I understood incentive very early in my career. That has been a very big thing for me, because if I somehow understand what's the incentives here, I can easily bring traction to that place, isn't it?
Correct.
So a lot of people who are building community, I would suggest or tell them, please try to bring incentives into place, right? The incentive could be anything. Okay, it doesn't have to be tangible always. It could be a lot of other things. You can unlock opportunities for them. You could unlock social status for them. You can unlock exposure for them. You can unlock a lot of things. Just you're not thinking in a 360 degree. That is something I would suggest a lot of people. When you're building a community, and again, it's a full-time job. Okay, it's not something you can do it in a second. Okay, you have to take care of your people. Like ask them question, and obviously think from a average point of view, right? So when you're building something, there is this smart, like contrarian, and this is average, right? So try to be here where you're actually catering to a lot of people. Okay, you might not attract a lot of smart people, but there are so many people who would like to interact with you. But just because they don't understand, or you might have something that they don't understand, they won't be interacting. So try to keep something which is very very common, and a lot of people would love to interact or participate. So this is something one of the things that I have even learned building our community.
Great. I think, as you rightly said, incentive is something which really matters, and incentive matters everywhere because we we were a team of 20, right? So initially, what I used to do was I used to have these unpaid internships, which clearly did not work, and that is when I understood, okay, I am the founder of this company. I can work for free because it is my idea, it is my passion.
Correct.
Even though other people have the same passion, they share the same vision, it's all about incentive.
Correct.
It's all about what they get. I mean, they were getting experience, exposure, all that set aside.
Correct.
I also think some kind of monetary incentive also matters.
Yes.
Because people will not be working for you, like throughout their lifetime for free or only for exposure, right?
Right.
So
it's very hard. It's very hard, especially in the college days itself. So see, unless you are someone who has a very strong social capital, so they won't be working you for free, right? So monetary compensation really helps here. So that's where you have to think, you have to take care of this thing, right? How you can make money so that you can give it to them, right? You can just tell them like, I can give you this much, right? So because I'm not capable to give you this much, because this has been our revenue, this is something we have been earning, so in future, if this comes up, so you'll be getting this, right? So I guess communication plays a big role here, right? Incentives, and obviously, try to think from a humane point of view, right? A lot of people think like an engineer, they think logically. Now, please try to avoid that. If you're building a company, building a team, I believe you have to think like a human here, right? You have to think like a human. A lot of people miss out on this. They feel like, I can just give you money and I can just do the job, right? I can just get the job done, but that is not applicable everywhere, right?
So true, very true, very true.
At times, people are not going to be with you, isn't it? It's just for the money.
Exactly.
Okay? It's more than that, I believe, right? So again, it's a very tricky part for me. Incentives, a monetary incentive really helped me. Then gifts, try to buy gifts for your team, and the gifts doesn't have to be very expensive, right? It could be very small and very little things that can give them happiness. I believe this thing really matters. Okay, so it's an hack, or it's a thing people can apply.
Rightly said, because we did the same thing, because we didn't have a lot of money in our company. What we did was, instead of giving them money as salaries, we bought them gifts.
Correct.
So they were so happy, and we spoke to them, what do you like? We understood what kind of people they are, and based on that we gifted them, and it was really happy. Both of us were really happy. So that was really nice of you to say. Okay, coming to the last two questions. Okay, so the first question is about cold emailing, cold DMing.
Correct.
Why is it important, and how should people do it?
Something I believe where so you can change cold email into warm email, right? So warm email has a lot of it has a higher chance of getting replies, right?
Okay.
So even if you're sending a cold email, you can make it warm. How? Let me tell you the trick. The trick here is to understand the person, right? What they are doing, what they've been saying, what their social activities and everything, right? Track everything that they are doing, do your homework, and try to take up some of the points that are relevant for them, right? And that is when you are going to turn your cold email into warm email. That's when the person will understand, okay, this person has done his homework or her homework, right? So this is a hack, and this has been working really good for us, good for me, So recently, we have been focusing a lot on collaboration, partnership, and just in the 7 days itself, I have received, I guess, more than 20 cold emails, myself itself, So it was all based on, warm email that I told you, They have done research and everything. They went into Fuller, they saw everything, They took up one particular point, They took up any particular point that I mentioned on social media, maybe on my articles. They picked it up and shared it with me. So the same thing, I have been doing this throughout my life, So this thing gives you result, okay? And the correct way to do is, try to write as polite as possible. Try to ask, because a lot of people, when they sound very rude, they sound very rude, or they sound very entitled. I guess this has to be improved. You have to write again very politely. There's this book called Skill with People, okay, by Les Gablin, okay. This is one of the book. Then again, there is one there's one more book by Les Gablin. It's How to Deal with People. 2 books. Then third is How to Influence Others. So that these 3 books are gem. Okay. Again, if you read this book, Delivering Happiness, that's when you will get to know people much more better. How to connect with your customers, how to talk with someone. So these are, I guess, communication plays a very big role here. So cold email, one should do it because, say for example, if you've done something, unless you are going and telling it to someone, nobody can find it out, isn't it? And they are super busy, right? Even if you assume that this person might know, no, that is not true, right? You have to at least try to give them a small recap or anything that you want to, right, in a very brief way. Okay, don't just assume that they will know everything, right? So you should go and cold email. And cold email, I guess cold email is a superpower. Trust me.
Correct.
Superpower.
Exactly. I can agree 100% on that because I was not aware of cold emailing or cold DMing. A friend of mine called Bhargav introduced me to this entire concept of cold email and cold DMing. I mean, it's been such a wonderful journey from that point where I started doing this because I've seen a lot of leads, a lot of conversions from cold emails and cold DMs, and people have started to recognize me as a founder, they started to recognize UIUX. So, that is really impactful. I think builders have to cold email, cold DM. I would say from now it is warm email, warm DM.
Yeah, cold email. Yeah, turn your cold email into warm email. So this is literally a hack. I would love you to share this with your whoever you know, because it's legitimately a hack. A lot of people just do DM randomly. Just pick one message and put it everywhere. So don't make this mistake. If you're doing 50 cold email in a week, maybe make it come down to 20, and at least try to make it as relevant as possible.
And make it more personalized to the recipe.
Absolutely. Actually, that is the recipe. So recently, I cold email ran over the founder of product, and so he replied back, right? And it was within 10 minutes. Even I didn't believe that. Yeah. So see, that is the hack, right? I took one of his interview from 2019, and I picked up a line from there and I used it, right? So that's when I felt like, okay, this thing work, right? So you have to do your homework really well. You have to know the person first when you're reaching out to them, right? So you have a better chance of getting a reply from them. So that is it.
Correct. And also one follow-up question: what if they don't reply? Should you follow up?
Yeah.
And how many follow-up emails have to be?
Correct. So by the way, I would like to mention one thing here. So we have a database of cold email on Fueler, by the way. Okay.
Achha.
Yeah. So
what don't you have?
So this is something we have built. Why? Because now you have proof of work. Now what's next? Now go reach out to people, right? So if I'm breaking the Fueler equation here, so it's ideation, creation of proof of work, outreaching, and transaction. So we are currently at outreaching part, where we are helping our user to go and rock the internet, right? And the next step is making money, right? So we have a section, please, and if you're watching this video, go check it out. It's there on Fueler dashboard. And one more thing, we have a newsletter, okay, cold email leverage. Go subscribe to it. Every week we send you 3 cold email templates for free, okay? So and also 3 cold email tips are there, and trust me, the cold emails are really great. You'll definitely get reply from there. If you're someone who's confused, what should I write? Please go check this newsletter, subscribe to it. It's totally your wish, but check out all the templates there. Right? Now coming back to your question.
I'll definitely try this out. Yeah.
Please.
Go on.
So you were asking about cold email, how it
No, I was asking follow-ups.
Yeah. So there is this report, that says, the average follow-up, you get is after 4 emails, right? So after you send 4 emails, that's when you can expect getting a reply. Unless you are very lucky, single email you will get reply. Okay. So regarding the follow-up, yes, I would definitely do it. I definitely myself do it. So for the follow-up, don't be so cringy. Okay. So a lot of people, they reply in such a way they are entitled, right? As if they are some big personality, right? Don't be that person. Please avoid becoming that person there. If they don't reply you, assume that this person is very busy, right? And assume that how you can, what value you can provide them. Okay, maybe take some insights from somewhere, that would be relevant for them, and try to add that on your email. Okay, and try to ask them would you be interested? And see, again, it depends. Okay, if you're pitching them for maybe cold email, say for services, selling your services, maybe for feedback, so you have to understand what is the motivation behind that. So why help them, right? How it could help them as well, right? So 4 is the minimum number here. Okay, 4 is the average number you get cold email. So if you are doing follow up, please make it relevant and don't be cringy. Try to be as polite as possible. A lot of people miss out on this, so I would like to bring this. I'll try to emphasis more on this. Try to be as polite and humble as possible when you're communicating.
Superb. Great. Last question.
Please.
I know you don't want to answer this, but I will make you answer this. Tips for budding entrepreneurs.
So work on distribution, guys. If you're in college days, if you're in college, if you're currently studying in your college, maybe school, please go and try to build audience. So if you have in your mind that I'm going to start a business someday, okay, try to start internet farming. So there's this interesting concept here.
Right.
It's called internet farming. Okay, so on land, you can do farming, right? Right.
Correct.
So again, it's very limited, right? But internet, it's abundant. So please keep this in mind always. Each and everyone is doing internet farming, right? Internet farming is essentially you are putting your footprint on the internet. You are writing articles, you are creating videos. Even this video, it's a form of internet farming, right?
Correct.
You are starting your newsletter. You are building your audience on Twitter, maybe Instagram, maybe Facebook. Maybe on LinkedIn. It's totally on you, right? So I would suggest, if you're trying to build something in your future, okay, even if you don't build it, okay, and willing to try a career in your, willing to choose a career you want, try to build audience, okay. Pick one thing and write about it, okay. It's like gardening, okay. The simple analogy is gardening. So when you start gardening, you don't invite a lot of people and tell them, hey, I'm starting gardening, let's do it together. Nobody will come. So you have to start gardening alone, water it every day, add manure, okay, give it proper care and everything. And when it grows up and you see flowers blooming in, that's when people will come, that's when people will go, hey, how did you do it? Tell me and everything.
Correct.
So please try to see building an audience like a gardening, okay? Nobody will join you. I tell the same to the people who still, who cannot start anything without co-founders, right? So at least try to start somewhere, maybe write on the internet, try to create content. Right? If you're an introvert, please start a newsletter. Okay, try to promote in niche channels. Right? Try to use Reddit. Try to use Indie Hacker. So these things are very useful. Indie Hacker is something I'm recently experimenting with, and it's crazy. I have made a lot of connection very recently through Indie Hackers, and people are out of nowhere helping you being a stranger. Right? So it's really useful. So this is something I would suggest. Try to build audience. This will massively help you. Okay, and yes, learn communication really well. Okay, and we lack leaders in our country, or say in our world, the leaders who are selfless, leaders who want to eat last, okay? So please learn about leadership, and I guess this will take you really long, right?
Super, thank you so much. And one tip to our viewers is that please go and read The Spiritual CEO. It gives you insights on how to be a spiritual leader, spiritual as in not religious, how to care for your employees, how to impact your employees, and how you can grow with them. It's not they grow with you, you grow with them.
Correct.
So it's a really nice book. I would definitely suggest. Riten, you want to suggest any books to our viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a book person. So you guys, if you're obviously watching this, please go check out my YouTube channel. I'm posting out videos, a lot of videos on books. Okay, so I have 3 books on my table currently. Founders at Work. Please check this out. This is an amazing book to learn about tech startup in their early days. There's this book, Build. It's recently I'm reading. It's a very amazing book. Okay, so it's about a person who I work with. Steve Jobs to a lot of senior people. He's a senior executive. Who has written this book after working for 30 years. Okay, and this book, I'm really passionate about advertising. So advertising people are the people who are nutshelling complexities into delights. Happiness and desires.
Correct.
So, I take a lot of passion in learning advertising and marketing. So advertising is something I take a lot of passion in. So this is something I'm currently reading. So apart from this, read the book called Rework, The Messy Middle. If you're into entrepreneurship and everything, try to read the books of Derek Sivers. Derek Sivers has written this book, Anything You Want. Okay, if you're someone who is into creative field, try to read the book of Martin Neumer. Okay, then read books of Austin Kleon. So these are some amazing books. You should go and try it out. Okay.
Thank you so much. And also, viewers, don't don't forget to check out Riten's YouTube channel. So he is in the process of the 30-day challenge.
Yeah, currently. It's
So don't,
today.
yes, so I am going to put all his YouTube links and fewer links in the description and check it out. Thank you so much, Riten, for joining us on this podcast. It was a really insightful conversation, and it's really amazing how you're impacting and mainly how proof of work is impacting people land 10x opportunities.
Yes, it really
Right.
works.
Thank you so much.
Not just at 20, 30 also, right? So, guys,
Right.
if you're watching this, please go check out Fuller, create your profile, show your work, and show the and see the magic happen. Okay. So yeah,
Right.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, and obviously doing this for our little time. Okay. So yeah, means a lot.
Definitely. I'm really glad, and I am sure that the viewers will have a lot to take away from this podcast. So thank you, Riten.
Yeah.
See you. Bye. Until next week, viewers.
Sure.
Bye.